Alright, this will more than likely be our final lesson within After Effects because we have a few things to wrap up. Most importantly, something that I see a lot of people who do this style but maybe miss it, there are zooms. There are zooms present in the style, and when we're looking at just a talking headshot, it is a very, very easy way to make it a more dynamic scene just by adding some subtle zooms, even some shakes. It's great. So we're going to be using adjustment layers and the transform effect to do all of this. I'm sure a lot of you are already familiar with it, but there's still some things you can learn. Just hang around for it. It won't be too much of your time. So I think for the beginning, having a very sharp, or not a very sharp, but a quick zoom in is a pretty good way to start the video off. So maybe 100 to 110. And then, as always, crank that motion blur to 360, that shutter angle to 360 so that you get that motion blur. And let's just use an exponential out graph. Oh.
If I had the ability,
And you know what? I'm the person making this video. I like doing that blur plus zoom combo, so that's exactly what we're going to do. I don't know. Obviously, it's not innate. It's not exactly right to the style, but I like doing it. So
if I had the ability,
yeah, that's fine. I think we'll we'll start some new keyframes here.
my past self, two things about video editing.
And then the whole time through, I think we'll be having a shake. No, I think we'll do it here, and we'll do another. No, we don't really want to zoom in any more than that, do we? Maybe if we set this to about 100, so that we can zoom back out. And then we have some motion here. Ability to tell my... Yeah, okay.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things.
I think if we have it more pronounced on my past self, it'll make it look...
Ability to tell my past self two.
Yeah, there we go.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two.
It's maybe a bit too... Or maybe we can actually push that motion towards the actual moment that we need a bit of...
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video.
Yeah, cool.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video editing, it would...
Two things about video editing. It would be this, and then I think we'll have a zoom in on this. Let's grab our scale controls, this, and then we'll do Y. Okay. After Effects is a weird tool, man. Let's edit to something a bit more. Yeah, 120. That looks good. Let's grab my favorite curve. This one.
It would be this. If I had...
Let's definitely move that forward so that the motion itself is more leaning towards that.
Would be this. If I had...
Yeah, cool. So even if it's subtle, small things like this, they're just going to add a bit more of a dynamic feel to the video. Let's compare it with and without.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video editing, it would be this. If I...
Okay, that last piece of animation needs to be stretched out a little bit.
It would be this. If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video editing, it would be this. If I...
Yeah, okay. Now let's look at it without.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video editing, it would be this.
Yeah, so obviously it's still engaging because Joseph is a very engaging speaker. He's super charismatic and it's great to talk to him and, you know, watch him talk as a creator. So it is going to be naturally pretty engaging. but with those zooms, we can capture those people who are not entertained or not captured by the speaker. It's small, it is subtle, and it's not something everyone's going to notice, but it's just a small little piece of quality that you can add to your skill set and just ensure that quality is just overall consistent and present within your content. Let's grab a shake. Actually, we do have that somewhere already. There we go. Already set to the settings that we like. So let's just copy and paste that. Again, save yourself the time. Now, when we are zoomed, let's see.
If I had the ability to tell my past self two things.
Now we said we were going to color some.
If I had the ability,
okay. We said we were going to color some parts of this text. Do we want to try that? Let's. We want it on video editing, so that's this section. So let's kind of try and color match it with an orange from back here. Maybe make it a bit more intense. And then let's definitely add a deep glow to that. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. 6.5. Yeah, okay, I can get behind that. I think we'll do that for this one, just as an example, just to say that we've done it. Yep, I think this part of the scene is done, and realistically, we can copy the adjustment layer that we used, and obviously we'll clear out the keyframes themselves, and we're not going to be using the Gaussian blur anymore, so we can delete that. And yeah, just make sure that you definitely delete the keyframes, because otherwise you're gonna get some repetitive motion, and you don't want that. You don't want things to feel repetitive, you want them to feel dynamic and smooth.
It's so easy.
I think to disappear, let's grab a zoom in on there, and as much as I say you don't want things to feel repetitive, you can kind of just copy your motions without it being too much of a worry. But obviously just adding some retiming, so here we want to disappear is where we want something, so let's bring these keyframes a little bit closer together, reapply that.
It's so easy to disappear in a sea of video. It's so easy to disappear in a sea.
And then I think we'll almost just copy and paste that, reverse the keyframes using where are we? Keyframe assistant. I know it's time reverse keyframes. There we go. And then apply it again so that we.
It's so easy to disappear in a sea of videos that we need to make ourselves a.
Or will it be more interesting to have that zoom out on tidal wave? No, because we have big animation there.
It's so easy to disappear in a sea of videos that we need to make ourselves a tidal wave to be.
Do we need color on tidal wave? I don't think so. I think it would be unnecessary. But I think we can do some motion. I think maybe actually a slow-ish zoom here would be pretty cool. So let's go ahead and let's just do that. Let's make it 110, you know, our classic, making sure that it's still inside this little box that we set up a while ago. If you've deleted it, don't sweat. And let's just grab that. Let's, this keyframe is pretty good, but also let's try this one.
Need to make ourselves a tidal wave to be even noticed. Need to make ourselves a tidal wave to be even.
I think over a long period of time like that, that keyframe doesn't really work the way I want it to. Let's try the good one.
Need to make ourselves a tidal wave to be even noticed. So easy to disappear in a sea of videos that we need to make ourselves a tidal wave to be even noticed.
Yeah, no, I actually think that's good. It's subtle, it's slower, obviously, and I think it's less. It's not less intense. I actually think it's the same amount of zoom. Oh no, it's much more this zoom, we need to make ourselves a tidal wave. The zoom on that is much more subtle than the zoom on the other two sections. That's 120, this is 110, and I like that. I think it's a little bit more subtle, a little bit more easy on the eyes, and it's going to help with the flow of the video. So let's keep going with that. Now we do have the end of this section, and this actually needs text, so let's quickly go and add this back. We'll just, where are we? Character, we want it to be size 100. It is going to be a Georgia regular. We're going to remove the black outline, and then if I quickly copy and paste the positions of any of these, the Y position of any of these, we should... Oh, please don't. Okay. I thought we were coming in for a crash. Why? What's wrong with it? Oh, you have to separate the dimensions first. Okay. Whatever you say. Separate dimensions, Y position, done. Then what's the point? Because this whole section is in 3D, obviously, and then we'll have a transition back. Cool. Yep, cool. Where was I going with that? Oh, we were going to add a small little zoom here. So let's go back. Let's copy that, paste it in, put it in the right spot, nice and easy. And then, honestly, that quick zoom that we had, actually, the quick zoom that we had in this scene was pretty good. So let's just, I know we said we don't want motion to be repetitive. If you can time it and do it properly and have it emphasizing the right beats, it's unnoticeable. So let's go ahead and let's...
Then what's the point? But if that wave of...
Yeah, like that. That's fine. Just for safety, just so that it doesn't feel as repetitive, let's just copy that and move that around. Yep, and then that's that scene done.
And number two, you'll never be the best editor.
I think if we do a zoom out on Yule number 2, so we'll delete this, grab you, move you in, so that it's almost like straightening up, resetting.
And number two,
but let's definitely make those keyframes a bit more immediate. And then obviously we'll have a what's the word I'm looking for here? We'll have a transition effect, probably just some lens flare here.
And number two, you'll never be the best editor. It's a hard truth, but really...
Why is it struggling?
You'll never be the best editor. It's a hard truth. Editor. It's a hard truth.
Okay, well there is a cut here, so I think having a zoom here is a good choice. Also, I'm noticing that there's a frame mistake, so let's fix that up. Let's find the moment where that zoom is, so let's just to smooth that over.
Editor. It's a hard truth, but really there's... Editor. It's a hard truth, but really there's no other way to say it. And number two, you'll never be the best editor. The best editor.
Alright, but that's pretty good. I don't think we need more than that. Any more might just be redundant and obsessive. So that brings us to here, where we do have this section at the end where Joseph is talking to the camera. Let's bring back all of our regular text. Let's make all of this not shy anymore. Let's hide away the layers that we don't really need anymore. Let's go back. Let's copy our adjustment layer that we have been using. no, I don't want to grab that one. I want to grab this one was I think the best one that we got. So let's just copy that in, drag it to the part of the video that is actually just talking.
Whatever it is, someone...
I think zoom in as soon as it transitions over, even if there will be a film burn to help with that. Just do that.
Is always going to know more. Whether you know...
And then we'll have a bit of a slower out, so it's kind of releasing, kind of telling you that truth. So let's do a quad easing.
Whatever it is, someone else is always going to know more. Whatever it is, someone else is always going to know more. Whether you know...
Yeah, cool. That's enough for that. And then we've got this last section. So let's bring it all together. Let's bring it home. He's muted here. Let's turn his voice back on.
So how do you even succeed if being the best doesn't matter?
I think we'll hold off on the zooms. The motion can kind of be carried by the shake that we have in this section. And then once we get to this big animation, that's when we'll do a zoom in. Or maybe we'll already have been zoomed in, maybe not 120, maybe we'll just do 110. We'll have been zoomed in the whole time. And then once we get to this section, there's a zoom out. That could be a more interesting interpretation. So let's grab you. Let's flip these keyframes, and then let's reapply the curve that we want to use, and then make you 110. Move to 100. Reapply this curve because we've changed the numbers.
So how do you even succeed if being the best doesn't matter? Branding. That's the difference between the ones who rise and the...
And he's back. Slow, Joseph.
So how do you even succeed if being the best doesn't matter? Branding. Succeed if being the best doesn't...
It feels jittery for some reason.
Succeed if being the best doesn't matter. Branding.
I think we can extend you out a little bit. Shrink you a tad. Let's see.
Succeed if being the best doesn't matter. Branding. That's the difference between... Succeed if being the best doesn't matter. Branding.
Yeah, okay, that zoom's fine. Alright. And then we'll have that zoom between the difference between the ones. I think if we have the motion here, and then the ones who sync, and then we'll pretty much just Control C, Control V. Time reverse. Move these ones around. Let's see.
It's between the ones who rise and the ones who sink. Being the best doesn't matter. Between the ones who rise and the ones who sink. So how do you even succeed?
So let's definitely... Oh. I want this motion to definitely be finished by the time... Ah, come on, let me see over the corner. This is why you want your composition to be a little bit longer than the video itself. Whatever.
Rise and the ones who sink. So how do you even succeed?
Yep, I think that's good on the zooms. Let's find film burns and let's start applying those. Now, I've noticed in a lot of his videos, Bart's videos, that quick film overlays are prominent as hell. Like, that is the primary way that he transitions between scenes, obviously because it's short form content, every moment, like shorter than a second, counts immensely. So we are going to pretty much take our animations and speed them up. So let's start by grabbing you. Please let me see the footage. There we go. Cut it here. And then I don't think we really want one at the very beginning of the video. That's always felt tacky to me to start off with that. It would be this. Then let's grab you, move you about here. We'll mute it because I know that this transition pack has sounds that we don't really want.
Would be this. You should focus on output, but don't ruin the content. It's
yeah, good. I like that.
Be this. You should focus on output, but don't.
And then we want something similar. Again, we're not going to use the exact same one. So let's see, what have we got here? Let's grab you. I don't know if that came through, but I just had a massive stomach gurgle. That was embarrassing if you guys heard that. And then let's grab that, set you as screen. Hopefully. Yep, cool.
It's so easy to disappear.
Oh, and then we do need to turn off the sound for that because we'll add our own sound effects into it.
It's so easy to disappear.
Yep, cool. Now, I do think you guys already have access to these transitions that I'm using, but in case you don't, I'm pretty certain I'll be able to put these in a pack for you if they're not already. Otherwise, I'll just link to them. And also, let's make sure that our timeline stays organized. Sorry, obviously it's not ideal to be doing your overlays like this, just zooming them up, and you know, because you're gonna have some artifacts, but I think that with the extras in this project, it might be best to not overwhelm it with 4K footage.
But if that wave of content is boring, lame.
I know that this one ends early, so let's make sure that we put a transition there. Let's just pull up overlay. Sorry, I'm on my second monitor. Just let me pull up my Okay, so I'm looking at my screen. I've obviously downloaded a pack at some point, and I'm just confused that I am... If you ever download a pack and it says color correction and it's a overlay, guys, that is not an overlay. That is a waste of time. Don't use that. Here's a whole good section of Light League transitions. Hopefully I've given this to you guys because this is a excellent resource. So let's go film burn for this one. And this is obviously a bit shorter. So let's bring you down. Hopefully it's intense enough. Nah, this one's obviously a bit softer, so there's no problem with that. It's just not for this one. Film burn hard. Thank you very much. That's what I want. Oh. Perfect. Alright, let's start that about here. And then I think we will actually speed this up, so we can do that by going to enable time remapping, and then trying to think of the best way to do this. If we create 2 keyframes here for the parts that we actually want to look at, and then just bring those close together. Yep, that's pretty much what we want. Screen, let's set it to the size of our composition. Man, that is kind of low quality. I'm not loving that. Do we have an alternative to that? Apologize that we're going back and forth, but that is a very low quality one. Here's a pretty default one that I'm pretty sure everyone who's ever edited has. Let's use something like this and then get a bit more of a vintage style going. Nah, we won't do that. I'm really not trying to drag this out. I am just wanting to make sure that we get some high quality videos. Do I have overlay, stock footage, YouTube videos, MISC, assets, animated textures perhaps? No, that's not what we're looking for. Overlays, yeah, you know what? That one's a classic. Let's just go with that. This one, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen, and it's very identifiable by its like single hair thing that it has over here. So yeah, let's just use that. Set it to screen. Find where that point of the cut is. I think it's around here. Yeah, it's right here. So we want yep, that's fine. Let's cut that there.
Interesting, then what's the point? And number two, interesting, then what's the point? And number two, you'll
now do we need a transition here?
interesting, then what's the point? And number two,
obviously there's a cut, right? And it's not trying to pretend like there isn't, but there's that motion there that really helps smooth it out. I think we'll try it without. I think we'll leave it.
never be the best editor. It's a hard truth, but really
It's so slow.
But really, there's
no other way to say it. You'll never be the best editor. It's a hard truth, but really there's no other way to say it. Whether you know thousands of
Okay, definitely needs to be one there. And I think we'll just nab this first one because I think that was really good. And I think to maybe make it a little less obvious what I'm doing, it might be worth... nah, actually I think it's fine how it is.
way to say it. Whether you know thousands
Oh, no, actually, let's grab time. Let's enable time remapping. Let's create 2 keyframes. And then we can very easily select them, time assist, time reverse keyframes, and now we have reversed just for the section that we're using.
say it. Whether you know thousands of transitions,
techniques, skill sets, softwares, whatever it is,
someone else is always
Okay, definitely needs to be one there, and I think we'll just do a similar thing where we grab one of our previous ones and then just duplicate it and bring it down here because I know you guys don't want to spend your time watching me dig around my files looking for transitions. I know that's not entertaining or interesting or educational even. So let's I thought the cut was soon. There we go. About here, so let's move you here and then select time, enable time remapping. Create 2 new keyframes. One and 2. Select both of those. Right click, time reverse keys.
whatever it is, someone else is always going to know more. So how do you even succeed if
Yeah, perfect. I think we can maybe even steal the very first one that we did because again that one was good, and let's just apply it as normal. Hopefully it'll have been enough time that people won't recognize it, and I don't think people are that conscious about the transitions you're using anyway. I think that's just an editor's thing.
always gonna know more. So how do you even succeed if being the best doesn't matter? Doesn't matter. Branding. That's the difference between the ones who rise and the ones who sink. If I had the ability to tell my past self two things about video.
Yeah, cool. No, I reckon in terms of visuals, we are done here. I think that's everything we needed to do. And I think we're going to jump into Premiere Pro. We're going to do the sound design. And we're going to call it a day. So you guys jump into that. Let's get this finished.